Sacramento State. The wildest move you could have made. Um, and now they begin their first year in FBS. They did it. They managed to get up here. I remember talking about when they were starting this whole push last year. Like I never would have imagined back then that we would be talking to them about them as a MAC program this year. But what are your first thoughts on their first ever MAC schedule?
I mean, beyond the obvious with travel, I think it's a very intriguing schedule. Really starting off with Mississippi Valley State, the Delta Devils playing their fifth, I believe, FBS opponent ever since the split. First since 2016, so should be a great opportunity for the Delta Devils just to really test themselves, have a rare opportunity. And it should, honestly, I think it might be closer than their past two tries against FBS schools. They lost by 47 to Eastern Michigan in 2016 when they broke their bowl drought. They lost by 66 to New Mexico when they were really good in the mid 2010s. So I think this one should be a bit closer. I think Mississippi Valley State will score a couple touchdowns. I don't think the score will get too out of hand. But I guess just looking at bookends, we already talked about Eastern Michigan week 0. I love the Hawaii game, even if it was supposed to be UMass this year, because the late season Hawaii game is a lost art.
Oh, I love the shout out there for the Delta Devils. Delta Devils mentioned on the podcast. Um, Again, very excited for that Eastern Michigan game. Another one that was very intriguing in the non-conference schedule. Obviously, they also play a regional game against Fresno State. That I think that one's really cool. And then hosting North Dakota State. So both the FBS newcomers facing each other. I think that one's going to be really interesting. I think that was a huge win for Sacramento State to be able to draw the Bison at home on the front end of that home and home. I think that was a huge win for them. I didn't think they'd be able to do that. I thought they would have to take their lumps and make the trip to the Fargo Dome first, but that's going to be really cool. And then, of course, I think a lot of college football fans, very passionate college football fans, are looking forward to that crazy cross country Sacramento State UMass game. That one's gonna be really interesting. It's on a Saturday, but I really hope it somehow gets like a TV slot. That would be a lot of fun. Um, but overall, like the good news is you don't see Sacramento State go on the road back to back weeks. They kind of did what they could, the best they could do with this. Again, when you have a team this far away, your hands are kind of tied a little bit. But at the very least, like they made sure there wasn't a ton of like Sacramento State having to make like those long road trips back to back weeks, and also they don't really have to face a lot of bad weather. They don't have a lot of weeknight games in MAC play. They play at Central Michigan. That's it. That one probably will be brutal weather. That is the furthest north MAC team. So good luck because it's very possible it snows for that game. But like at the very least, like their trip to Bowling Green is going to be usually mid-October. It's still pretty warm. Eastern Michigan for sure is going to be warm in August. And then you have Ball State in there. That one could be hit or miss. Who knows what it's going to be in late October. But I think Sacramento State definitely faces a challenge with the schedule. And considering the fact that at one point it looked like they weren't going to make it to FBS, Brendan Marion leaves for Colorado. So you lose him. He took some key players with him. So I think you're looking at kind of a challenge here roster wise. I don't know if Sacramento State can challenge for a bowl, but I think they could win at least win a couple of these home games.
Yeah, I think like you said, I mean, I don't think they'll make a bowl, but a lot of these games, even the road games too, are I mean, they should be competitive. Like Bowling Green, I think that's a team that they match up well with. Ball State definitely. That game, I know we keep mentioning that game, and it's not for the reasons that people want or think. I just think that is legitimately a competitive. That's going to be a competitive game. Like those teams match up well at the moment. I think. I'm interested though with the North Dakota State game when because that'll be covered in the late May, early June television release for early season games. I'm interested to see if they give that one an after dark spot because it'll kind of show ESPN's approach with the Sacramento State thing, because ESPN has been lacking in content, in late night content on Saturdays for ESPNU, and even on ESPN and ESPN2. There's been some weeks, I think it's been 4 different weeks, where they just haven't aired a late night game on the main two networks. So I'm interested to see what they do, and I think we'll start to see that strategy with the North Dakota State game.